What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. The German Giants are in town and they are after our Dutch disciplinarian. Harry Maguire is injured for tonight's game, which means we have no current fit centre-backs at all ready to play. Maybe Johnny Evans at an absolute push, but let's face it, he'll probably get injured within 20 minutes anyway. We've got some interesting quotes from the second part of the press conference about Jadon Sancho, about Bruno Fernandes, and a couple others as well. Plus a friendly reminder towards the end as well, a little stat that I want to pull up, so make sure you stick around for that. But we could always dive into the first story, the main story, which is on the graphic, which I referenced, Erik Ten Hag, Bayern Munich. It's all going off at the minute, and I'm going to pull up the quotes for you, which if you're on YouTube, you'll see the screen just here. So yeah, you can see there, apparently Erik Ten Hag is back on the list of FC Bayern after Rangnick rejected their offer. Bayern's hierarchy believe Ten Hag's coaching has been hampered by a litany of off-field issues and a poor operational setup at Sky Sport. That's from Sky Sports, sorry, which is interesting because a lot of people don't think there's a valid excuse, right? And the first question that comes to my mind is, why have so many managers turned down Bayern Munich? I mean, we're even hearing reports today that Lopetegui's turned them down as well. So, that goes with Nagelsmann, Tuchel, turning the second opportunity down. Rangnick, of course, Alonso turned him down at Bayer Leverkusen. That's unlike anyone for a Bayern Munich team, which is bizarre to me. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So what I did a bit of digging, and I had a look at what the crack is basically. Why are they sinking so much at this moment in time, and what's going on? So prior to this season, which the majority of people would probably know anyway, they had won 11 straight league titles, right? So the same period, they won 2 Champions Leagues. So 11 league titles and 2 Champions Leagues, a very successful decade for them, from like 2010 to 2021 or whatever it was. This season, they got knocked out of the Pokal Cup by a third division team. So that was obviously like a big shock for Bayern. They're going through a lot of changes upstairs. So Oliver Kahn left, the sport director, I think, left as well. And then they've had a couple mix-ups and arguments over management and other things. And then for the past couple of years, they've been panic buying in January, taking a leaf out of Man United's book, which you don't really associate Bayern Munich with either. And then they've kind of failed to replace influential players like Thiago, who left. What was the Spanish Martinez as well in the midfield? Boateng when he went. Obviously, probably Neuer when he goes. Like, they're not as well oiled for many, many reasons. Since 2016, they've had 6 head coaches, and none of them have lasted for more than 2 seasons. So United aren't the only team with problems. People will kind of throw that argument back that, it's Bayer Leverkusen are basically winning a treble and going unbeaten, and it's hard to compete with that, and that's absolutely fair. That's a discussion that we should definitely have. But even still, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? So let's go into the rest of the stories. Apparently Bayern have touched base with Ten Hag's agent Kees Vos to inquire if the Dutchman would be open to taking over at the Allianz Arena. Ten Hag communicated to his people that his sole focus is on finishing the season strongly with the Old Trafford side, who still want to secure European football and win the FA Cup. Should Ineos decide to part company with Ten Hag at the end of the season, it's understood Bayern would not be the only potential suitors, with Vos and his SEG agent set having fielded contact from 2 other clubs as well, apparently. Answers on a postcard who that is. Couldn't think of the clubs that had won him. And the last bit here, so they've held talks with Erik Ten Hag's management as recent as last week, and if he has to leave Manchester United at the end of the season, he's ready for Bayern Munich. Huge news. I don't really blame him in that sense. You have to kind of have a bit of a contingency plan, don't you? If you're Erik Ten Hag now and you're looking at it and you think, oh, maybe the writing's on the wall for me, why would you not consider Bayern Munich? Massive club, still huge expectations. You've probably got, even though they're in a bit of a mess at the minute, it's probably more stability than United. But at the same time, you've got Ineos coming in at United, which may stable the ship. So, I don't know, there's 2 sides to it. I'd probably rather be at Bayern Munich at the moment. I think you got more chance of being successful there as a manager, just in my opinion. It could change, like I said, under Ineos, but that's just how I feel. But how weird also would it be as well, just Tuchel coming to Man United and then Ten Hag going there, and then imagine if they're both successful, and it's just very, very bizarre situation for me. I wonder what Ineos are thinking as well. Are Ineos kind of second-guessing themselves? Are they thinking, oh, maybe we should stick with him? you know, I think summer's going to be fascinating. What happens? There could be managers going left, right, centre. Just heard about Lopetegui going to West Ham as well, which is very interesting. It's getting super competitive now near the top of that table. Newcastle with the money that they have, although even though they can't spend too much of it. City are always going to be there for the next 2-3 years, probably winning league titles. Arsenal's age profile of the squad is young, 24, 25 average age, so they're going to grow with time over the next couple of years. Chelsea look like they're coming into form now and they're bouncing back. Aston Villa under Unai Emery has been super impressive. Spurs under Ange have been hit and miss, but I think with a few more signings, they could be one of those kind of teams that can beat anyone on the day. Do you know what I mean? Like dangerous at times, but also can get battered by anyone on the day. And then we have United, and there's probably other teams that I haven't even mentioned. So that top 10, the top 6 is almost becoming a top 10. That's how I feel anyway. I mean, God knows what's going to happen with Brighton. I think they may, especially the Derby leagues, they may slightly drop down a bit into that second half of the table. But I think West Ham, Chelsea, United, Spurs, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, who have not even fucking spoken about. Don't know what's going to happen with Arne Slot. For anyone, Dan's asking there, they confirmed the replacement for Klopp. Yeah, it's going to be Arne Slot from Feyenoord. Who plays a similar style, so it's not going to be too much tweaking in that sense. You're going to have that heavy metal football. But yeah, I think next season's going to be so competitive and so difficult. And these teams that are surrounded by us have huge potential. And there's also, I kind of sat there thinking, we could drop right down if we're not careful, if we don't recruit right. Like, forget about competing with Arsenal or Liverpool. Look where we are on the table at the minute. We're 8th. Chelsea are above us. Chelsea, the meme of the season, who everyone has been absolutely slating, are now currently sat above us in the table. Let me pull this table up. Let me see. Because it's looking pretty grim for us. So we're 8th currently at the moment. Chelsea, Newcastle, Tottenham have all played a game more than us. But even still, we're 6 points behind Tottenham. We're level on points with Chelsea and 2 points behind Newcastle. And we have to go and play Crystal Palace tonight. I just realised I've put the wrong fucking graphic up. 1 second, people. I'll be back live in a second, 2 secs. What an absolute idiot I am. Fucking idiot. I'm sat there thinking, why does it say there? Maguire's fucking... I'm so stupid. Sorry, people on YouTube. You bear with me just a moment, and I'll get this back up. I'm like, why on earth am I seeing Maguire swap deal inbound? And it's... Oh, what a nightmare. Right, let me get this up. Get your comments in. I'm going to read them out very, very shortly. Please do smash a like in the video as well. We're currently on 4,971 subscribers. So if you can help us hit 5k, even if we can push it today, because we're going to do live for a pre-match and a post-match. And we're also dropping a tier list members video around 3 o'clock. So if you are a member, make sure you check that out. It's a very good video. You guys get access to that pretty early. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts on that and hit that subscribe button. Share to a friend. Any of that good stuff would be absolutely amazing. I'm going to discuss Harry Maguire very, very shortly because, well, when this decides to work... Why is it not saving? Sorry, people. Because we have a huge issue tonight. And, again, the majority of people would have seen it, but... Injury curse gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And when you just think it's going to stop and maybe we're injury free, you get hit with another slap in the face, basically. So, yeah, not looking good. There we go. Right, I can go back live now again. There we go. Right, anyway, people, sorry. Maguire down. So, Harry Maguire has sustained a muscle injury that will keep him out for about 3 weeks. He has the potential to make the FA Cup final, but it's touch and go, basically. So he's going to miss the rest of the season. We have no fit centre-backs whatsoever. Maguire's injury is the 62nd case of injury or illness that has caused a United player to miss a game this season. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They're almost going to have to throw Johnny Evans into the firing line. And he's only just come back from injury himself. So I imagine, I can pretty much predict the way the game is going to go. Palace will probably get an early goal in the first half. We'll be scrapping it. Johnny Evans will have to come off at half-time. We'll have to put on either the 16-year-old kid, Louis Jackson, or we'll have to put on an Amrabat at centre-back or a McTominay for like the second half, and then Palace will just batter us. I think I'm really struggling to see how we can win this game tonight with the form that we've been in the players that we've got missing. Maguire's a massive miss, which I never thought I'd be saying like a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. But it's true. It's a huge miss for us. So who will start? That's going to be interesting to see who Ten Hag goes with. Will he change the system at all? Probably not, because he is stubborn as fuck. But again, Maguire's injury is another muscle injury. Like, what are we doing? Are we overworking these players? Are we not managing the load properly? I get you trying to match the intensity with other teams, and I know other teams like Chelsea and Newcastle and a few others have had some big injuries, but they clearly can't manage the workload. I don't think the training's right for him. And I kind of I questioned this when it got reported a couple of months ago. I was like, I don't know. I think the players are just lazy, and maybe there is a case of that. Maybe physically they can't deal with it. And we need some more kind of athletes in the team, but you do need athletic players nowadays. That's the first. I remember listening to Nick Cox, our head of academy, and he was talking about what do you look for now in youth players. He says first and foremost they have to be athletic. They have to be. You can't just rely on technical superiority nowadays. You look at Man City, for example. I know they have. I mean, technicians like Bernardo Silva, Foden, De Bruyne, like the best in the world. But they also complement that with their hard work. They graft off the ball like more than anyone. Arsenal as well. Martin Odegaard, for all his technical brilliance, the amount he works off the ball is insane. So, it's not all just about the technical quality. And I think, obviously, Ten Hag's probably trying to get them up to a certain level so they can compete and they can go. And you kind of saw that in the Liverpool game where it was like, I feel United style now. Ten Hag's looked at it, and we had a period. I'm going off on a bit of tangent here, but it's important to make a note about this. I feel like we had a period in November, December where we had that stat coming out where we didn't score in like 4 to 5 games. And Ten Hag is like, I can either stick with this and try scrape through games and lose them anyway, or we can try go toe-to-toe, make it a bit of a street fight, turn into the Nate Diaz of the league. Let's say, for example, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some, and let's just take it from there. And I think that's the kind of route they've taken, because we've seen managers go pragmatic before, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and people didn't like it. Now, Ten Hag's doing the opposite and going for it. People don't like it. So you need to find that middle ground, in my opinion. And whether Ten Hag can do that, I'm not sure. I don't think so towards the end of the season. I think it's just going to go like this now towards the end of the season. I really, really do feel like that, unfortunately. Sean saying he's going nowhere. Dino saying, don't want Erik Ten Hag to leave. He needs to end his contract before we make a decision. Charlie's saying, also the sporting manager turned them down. Ruben Amorim turned Bayern down. I did not know that. So that's Ruben Amorim, if I'm pronouncing it right. Julian Lopetegui, Ralf Rangnick, Nagelsmann, Tuchel, Xavi Alonso, who turned down Bayern Munich, which is crazy. Sam saying might be the frying pan into the fire with Bayern, with every single manager turning them down due to the mess on the board. Referenced that before with Oliver Kahn leaving and the sporting director. Malman saying we can finish 8th or 5th. It's in our hands. I've got to struggle. Dino there saying, does anyone think we're going to win tonight? Does anyone in the TikTok think we're going to win tonight? A saying, Bayern don't want your manager. Well, you don't read the news, mate. Sky Sports News, who's pretty credible, are saying that he's on the list. And also Christian Falk, who's also any news around Bayern Munich, if you know your journalism, is huge, like, is spot on with the majority of stuff that he puts out there. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe do your own research. Also, hit them likes and subscribe for the lads. Thank you very much, Dino. Appreciate that, brother. John Ahomene says 3-2 United tonight. Very positive. I like that. That is what I've said. The training is wrong. The point, all the things that the medical is wrong. Mixed fault here. Isn't Cambuala injured? Yep, correct. I haven't seen Cambuala in the squad. I know Johnny Evans has definitely travelled with the squad, but yeah. Ten Hag was mad to think he could sign Kane. He should have known. I know you like brand flakes, but is it worth spending 50-60 million on him considering he's still very raw? No, well, look, there's no guarantee with it. Much like Amadou Onana as well. You'd probably have to spend 50-60 million quid on him because Everton bought him, I think, for about 45. So it's a risk, it's a gamble, but with the majority of transfers, it's hit and miss anyway, innit? So, yeah. But I do like him. I think he's decent. I probably prefer Todibo. I would go towards that, but Todibo's a risk as well. You know, you got to step it up when you come to Manchester United. It's all good playing for Nice. Same thing with Everton. It's all good playing for Everton when you're defending the edge of the box for the majority of the game and you're very compact. You switch it up, you expose him a little bit, you bring him to Man United and play this kind of open, chaotic system. Is he going to be as strong? Is he going to be as composed? Is he going to be able to deal with the pressure? You don't know, do you, until you make the transfer, I suppose. Goat says, start Amas instead of Casemiro or Amrabat. Amas where? Amas is a left-back, isn't he? So where are you going to start? You're going to start him at centre-back? Absolutely not, if that's what you're referring to. Not in my opinion, anyway. Right, let's go to the second part of the press conference. We had the embargo section come out last night, and I thought there was some very interesting quotes on Jadon Sancho and Bruno Fernandes. So, there has been no direct contact between Ten Hag and Sancho since the player went on loan. Asked if he still wants an apology over their fallout, and Ten Hag said there was a conflict, and let's first finish the season, so stay away from this issue now. It's not important. It's understood United's plan is still to sell Sancho this summer. Dortmund reaching Champions League semis has triggered significant bonuses in his loan deal, and United hope Sancho's form will push his price up too. Not impossible. He could return to United, particularly if Ten Hag is sacked. But I've also seen reports as well that Sancho just wants to stay at Dortmund anyway. We had a bit of a conversation about this on the show that we did last night, so make sure you guys check that out if you missed it, about us rebuilding United. We all had a £200 million budget each, and we went through certain players who we would sign, but we had a brief discussion about Sancho and what lies in the future for him. And look, this is just my take. Again, football's about opinion, and everyone's different. I get it. I just don't think like I was talking before, like you have to be athletic in this league. Matched with technical brilliance. I don't think Jadon Sancho has the athletic side. He's a very, very good footballer. But the intensity of the Prem, I just don't think suits him. And he wasn't giving Ten Hag what he wanted off the ball, which is why he plays Antony so much. Now, people can argue for days, and people are probably right when they say, well, Sancho's a much better footballer than Antony is. And he is, 100%. He can actually beat a man, dribble. He relies on combinations and link-up play. So maybe with a specific manager and a specific system, Jadon Sancho would flourish in the Premier League. But if this manager stays, I just don't see it ever working. The guy, Ten Hag sent him off on like a hiatus to his hometown. His home country, should I say, Netherlands, to an individual training camp, brought him back. Some struggles again. And then there was like all that social media online beef where they're going back. I don't know. I just think the door's shut with him and Ten Hag. I can't see a relationship being rekindled. That's not to say it won't happen, but I think it's very unlikely. But if Tuchel comes in, let's say, for example, I'm pretty sure Tuchel's worked with him at Dortmund. If another manager comes in who's more, let's say De Zerbi, for example, who's more possession-based, and he comes in, then maybe there's a bit of wiggle room there where he can come in, he can flourish, more. He needs pieces of the puzzle being moved around him in order for him to flourish. He ain't that guy who's just going to run up and down all day for you, beat a man. He's a certain type of player, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So, I think he stays at Dortmund, but if United have to do a deal where it's, we have to loan him out again with an obligation to buy, I'm not too happy about that, because it's like United seem to always do this. They always seem to, when a player's unhappy or whatever, like Martial, for example, send him out on loan. Unhappy, we can't sell him, send him out on loan. Who else have we done it with? Pereira, couldn't sell him for a couple of years, send him out on loan to Brazil. Loads of players we've done it with, and I'm sick of doing it. Just be ruthless and say to Sancho, look, if we don't get 40, 50 million quid, nearly like 85% of what we paid for you, then you're staying here, mate. And if the manager don't want to play, the manager don't want to play you. It's as simple as that. You can throw your toys out the pram. You can take to social media and talk all the shit that you want. But ultimately, we don't care until we get the price that we want for you. And a lot of the time with United, they kind of take a stance where, especially under Murta and Richard Arnold, and it was like they're just soft as fuck with everyone. Any kind of negotiation that they go into, they had no stronghold on it whatsoever. We would always cave into demands, and I think that needs to change. That's like one of the small things out of the list of fucking things that need to change at United. So, yeah. I've heard a rumour Alex Ferguson's coming out of retirement. Is it true? No. So Arsenal are going to batter you? Probably. But the one thing I will say about Arsenal is, look, we have been dreadful this season, but we have also, on the flip side of things, seen players turn up when they can be asked. Liverpool knocked them out of the FA Cup. Liverpool haven't beat us once this season, and they've been pretty good. They've got over 80 points so far, and they haven't beat us. rivals. There's something there. 1-0 up against City, 45 minutes, decent half, collapsed in the second half. But they've proven they can do it in big games. And I don't know, I wouldn't completely write us off in that Arsenal game. I suppose it depends who's fit. If we don't have any centre-backs, then I definitely would. But yeah, there's just that bit about it. That'll be tough for him. There'll be pressure on him. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks. Even Arsenal fans, speak to Arsenal fans about it. They'll tell you the exact same thing. The exact same thing. They're like, yeah, we're a little bit worried about that. I think City are a little bit worried about the Spurs game as well because they're a bogey team. So, yeah, like I said. Transfer market's not good on injuries. Cam Waller is out. Great show last night too. The predicted lineups for next year are interesting. Thanks, Dino. Appreciate that, brother. That's just playing up to the better teams. I'm not sure. Yeah, don't know what you mean by that. Bruno Fernandes, second part of the presser as well. This was involved. He got asked about, how he feels about him as a player, his dedication as a captain, etc. He said, taking responsibilities is one of the biggest assets nowadays that top footballers have to show and to deliver. Bruno always delivers. He's always available. He never misses a game, always plays at a good level, and he's always giving energy to the team. Such assets are necessary to be successful. So that's what, a lot of coaches nowadays looking for relentless, athletic, robust players who can be, the amount of games that we're playing nowadays, you just simply have to be athletic, especially with the Champions League expanding, more games than ever. You need robust players with tough mentalities and physically at it. I'm just trying to see if we can find the team. Let's have a look. See if we find the team for the game, the travelling team. I want to see if Bruno's on it because he's saying, Bruno's a doubt or whatever. Let's have a look. Any news on him? No, there's no team news yet. I've just seen that Johnny Evans. Maybe Bruno is a doubt. I always thought, we said in the preview when we did it, I think Bruno will probably make himself available. Even if he referenced the Brighton game last season as well in the semi-final. He said his ankle was like a balloon, and he still played. So I'm not actually sure with Bruno why it is that he's missing this game. I don't know if it's his hand because he broke his hand against Coventry. I'm not sure if it's a different injury. Didn't really reference that unless I've completely missed it. So, yeah, I don't know what's up with Bruno, but I always feel like he could just make himself available for the game anyway. He's just the type of guy that he is, and his commitment's unquestionable. And Ten Hag even said he feels like he'd probably see his contract out on Man United because he's clearly happy there, but obviously wants to win more at the same time. So that is the latest news surrounding the game tonight. Couple of things I want to plug and a stat I want to give you before I head off. So the first one is we've got a tier list dropping at 3 o'clock. If you are a Real Red Ultra member, you're going to get early access to that. So that's 3 o'clock, and that is for this summer, the players that should go. And I've been absolutely ruthless with it, and there's a couple in there that are controversial. So let me know your thoughts on that. Any feedback's always appreciated in the members' videos, because the whole reason why we do that kind of content is because we put it out for you guys, and then whatever kind of stuff you put in the comments and that you want and that you like watching, we try to get it out there just as like a thank you basically for supporting the channel. So if you want to become a Real Red Ultra member, it's growing every single day, then please do hit that join button next to the notification bell and you'll get that at 3 o'clock. And then we're going to be live pre-match for the Crystal Palace game and post-match as well with the analysis. Have I missed anything else? Yeah, loads of stuff today, loads of content. So if you need stuff to watch, if you're having a shit day in work, you need something to listen to, or whatever it is, then go check them out when they drop. Also, we're on 4,971 subscribers at the minute. We're currently 29 off, not even 39, 29 less than I thought. So if there's anyone watching on TikTok now or on the YouTube live, whether you're watching it later, of course on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button or click the link in the description on TikTok. Head over to the channel, have a look at it. If you like it, then yeah, subscribe and smash a like on the video as well. And just a reminder as well for Erik Ten Hag, because there's been quite a lot of slander on him. There's been quite a lot of abuse, and fans unhappy with him, and fans being unhappy with him, it's for a reason, right? I get it, I understand, because the football this season's been abysmal, and this season's going to go down as one of the worst, if not worse than the Ragnick one, so I completely get it, right? But just a reminder to everyone, what Ten Hag's had to deal with since he's joined Manchester United: the Ronaldo interview with Piers Morgan, the Mason Greenwood saga, Maguire captaincy issues, the Sancho Twitter post, Rashford boozy nights in Belfast and all the other nonsense that he's done, the Anthony case that came up with his girlfriend, the takeover saga, the media abuse that he's received week in, week out, and most importantly, 60 plus separate injuries. So just consider that before we start fucking slating the manager as much as we are doing, and Respect. What was it Mourinho says? Respect free Premier League. I know he's not won Premier League titles, but yeah. I just, criticism, valid. When you start insulting people, that's just when me personally, I think it just gets fucking ridiculous. But anyway, right, we'll drop the tier list at 3 o'clock. Keep an eye out for it. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you guys hopefully tonight for the pre-match build-up for this game. It's hopefully going to push us into Europa League, but I'm very, very doubtful. I'm very, very worried as well about the game. So make sure you come and join us for that. John saying the fact Bruno doesn't always play to a good level. I'd keep Bruno and let Rashford go. If we finish 5th and win the cup, it'll be okay-ish. I'm not sure. I think if you would have said that to United fans at the start of this season, finish 5th and an FA Cup, I don't think you would have taken it. I wouldn't have taken it anyway. And also, I think we have no chance winning the FA Cup. No chance against City. Even with players fit and available, I won't give us a sniff, mate. So, yeah, sorry to be negative and end it on a negative, but I will actually leave it at that. Take care, guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. It's very nice weather outside and it's a bank holiday, so get a few beers down here and we'll see you tonight for the game, yeah?